Hi everyone, I am really looking forward to this video because it's for some new, not yet launched Milk makeup products. So it's exciting that they are not quite launched yet, and I have never featured anything from Milk makeup before on this channel, so this will be a first for me too. What I have here are Milk's new glow oils. They are mini shimmering lip and cheek tints. So if you are curious as to what the colors available are, how they swatch, what the colors look like on the skin, I will also do a little application video at the end. So if you're curious about any of those things and my thoughts on the products, then this is the video for you. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button. Make sure you follow Allura Beauty on Instagram. The handle is in the description box below. I will also put in the description box where you can purchase these online when they launch. And of course, a link to Ebates so that if you do any online shopping, you can get cash back on whatever orders you place. And last, if you haven't seen the latest video, it's this month's What's New in Beauty, but actually the video has a ton of new skincare, which I'm really excited about. I feature, I think 5 or 6 different skincare brands and a lot of great skincare from those brands, in addition to new makeup and my Sephora VIB haul. So if you're curious about any of those kinds of things, I will link that video in the upper right-hand corner for you. All right, let's get looking at Milk Makeup's new glow oils. So as I said, these have not yet launched. They should be launching fairly soon on Sephora's website. There was a kind of pre-launch through Milk Makeup's website, and you may actually be able to get them by the time this video goes up again through Milk Makeup's website. But if you want to utilize any sort of Sephora points or gifts with purchase, things like that, on the Sephora site, then you just have to hold on a little bit longer. So as you can see, these are available in 5 different shades, and Milk says that these give you a dewy flush with quick application. The formula is supposed to be hydrating, antioxidant rich, and also contain vitamins. These are tints that are supposed to give you juicy, shimmering color that glides on sheer and blends seamlessly for a subtle tint. And you can wear them as a glowy blush or as a lip stain. The directions say that you should dot them onto the cheeks or apply to the lips. The formula is vegan and cruelty, paraben, talc, gluten, and fragrance free. And they retail for $14 each. Now these are miniature sized, so compared to my hand, you can see how small the tube is. For the $14, you are getting 0.18 ounces or 5.1 grams. So per ounce of product, these are on the expensive side, but to be honest, I kind of wish most makeup were in mini sizes. Maybe that's a product of the fact that I have so much of it as a result of having this channel, and I could never in a lifetime get through all the makeup, and I wish I could be closer to practically using up more makeup. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of that and having miniature sizes like this. In terms of the packaging, these are plastic tubes. They come in the color that kind of corresponds to the product inside. They have twist off caps, and you also have a twist up bottom that pushes up the product as you use it. Oh, and each also comes with this protective plastic dome that you should take off before you use it. So this first shade here is called Solar. This shade is Glimmer. This shade is Halo. Next up is Astro. And last is Flare. All right, so the first shade is Solar, and this is a shimmering watermelon. Next up is Glimmer, which is a shimmering mauve. Halo is a bright pink shimmer. Astro is a shimmering plum. And Flare is a shimmering coral. Okay, so here are the heavy and layered swatches. You can see that they are sheer but buildable. I also like that while they are shimmery, the shimmer is very finely milled. so that it doesn't stand out too much. It's not super chunky on the skin. You just get more of a kind of refined sheen. All right, now let's go ahead and blend these out just a little bit. Kind of give you an idea of A, how they smooth out, but also B, what they would look like more realistically on the cheeks. Now, when you're actually applying these, you probably want to do one cheek at a time and not wait as long as I have, just by nature of doing this video, to blend the swatches out. Just because it does seem to have a staining quality, and you want to try to blend the product out before it's sunken into your skin or really set. See, especially like this last one, you can kind of tell where you laid it down versus where it's blending out, just because it's really stained the skin there. Okay, so a little bit of an impression of what the colors look like once they've actually been blended out. Let's go back in and do some layering. See how that works out. I'm actually a little bit surprised at how these last two colors, they don't build that much color when you layer them. Might be true for all of the shades. And in terms of technique, there's not too much lifting happening. There is a little bit that I can see when I look up close, so my suggestion is to use not quite a full blending motion, but a little bit more of a tap and pull motion, just to try to reduce any sort of patchiness as much as possible. All right, there are your 5 shades blended out. And let's get to some lip swatches. So for this application test, I do not have any sort of foundation on. I just put on some moisturizing toner, and we're gonna apply it pretty much to bare skin. And I think what I'm gonna do is apply one of the sheerest colors on one side and one of the most bright or pigmented colors on the other. So according to the swatches, the kind of sheerest was Astro, and one of the boldest was the first color that we swatched, which is Solar. So let's start on this side. Now it says to dab and blend, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and, especially with a really sheer or more sheer color like this, I'm just gonna go ahead and swipe and use my fingers to blend it out. All right, so that's kind of the first layer. It is pretty sheer. In fact, I kind of see more of a sheen than I do color. I'm gonna let that kind of set in and do this side with the other shade. Now for this, I'm using more of a dabbing motion just because there's so much more pigmentation on this one. I want to be more careful layering it. This one doesn't seem to have as strong of a sheen. It has more color. Still very sheer. But I feel like the color on this side applied more evenly. This one seems to be a little more patchy. Let's go ahead and layer. Oh, I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely a lot of lift when I'm trying to layer this. Oh, this is super patchy. This might be the kind of thing where you have one layer to work with and that's gonna be it. All right, so that's the shade Astro. I really like using duo fibered brushes for cream products and sometimes gel products, but because these are so sheer, why don't we go ahead and try to use something a little more dense? So let's actually try a brush like this. This is a Real Techniques brush. It's the Expert Face brush, but it's a lot more dense. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually apply it to the brush, see if we can build up the color without it getting too patchy. Yeah, this is a lot better. Still not perfect. I'm going back and forth and picking up more product because it does still lift in some areas and you got to go over it and layer it and blend it out, but you're gonna have a lot more success, it looks like, with something like this. These are synthetic fibers. There's one area that keeps lifting. Okay, there's a few layers and a couple different methods. Here's up close what it looks like. Now let's go back to the shade Solar. Let's see how this layers. First with the fingers. This one does a lot better job of A, layering up and building up the intensity of the color, and B, not lifting. And what I notice is, because it might be because this shade is less packed with shimmer, it seems to have a slightly more dry consistency, whereas the first shade has a more wet feel to it. And that might be helping to keep it from lifting or being as patchy. All right, so there is that shade with a couple of layers applied. I don't think you need to use the brush the way that you would want to with this first shade, but let's go ahead. I've wiped off this brush, and let's go ahead and use the same technique. See how we like it. Yeah, performs well with this method too. There you go. And hopefully you can see up close that it is a lot more smooth in finish. So I'm going to go ahead and just set with powder and show you what the finish looks like. I wonder if I should, let's go ahead and set with an actual foundation powder as opposed to just a translucent powder to see how well the pigmentation holds. Obviously this will change depending on the level of coverage in the particular powder foundation that you're using, but I just want to give you kind of a sense. And if you're wondering, the shade that I'm wearing before we get to lip swatches on my lips right now is Astro, that first shade that we applied here. And I'm going to use Smashbox Photo Filter Powder Foundation. The shade is a little dark for me, but I'm not going to be heavy-handed. I'm going to apply this pretty true to how I would apply it for just an everyday look. Because frankly, if you are looking for a super bold blush, you wouldn't be interested in this product anyway. because it's marketed as a sheer flush of color. All right, there is the powdered face sheer flush of color. So in terms of these as a lip staining product, I think I actually like them more on the lips. They're super easy to use, even though they look a little bulky when you think of a lip product. Because they're more on the sheer side, they are very easy and straightforward to use. They go on effortlessly. You can build them up, kind of 2 or 3 layers worth. They are very comfortable on the lips. They have a hydrating formula, but the color is sheer. So when you're looking at these swatches, just know that half of that at least is my own natural lip color, as opposed to the color that you are getting in the product. So overall, I think that these are nice in terms of convenience. I actually really like the packaging. I think it's very cute, portable, functional. I don't know that it's my favorite product in terms of quality when it comes to a gel blush. But if convenience and portability are a factor for you and you do like natural makeup, then I think this is a solid choice for you. So please let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you plan to pick any of these up, which shade do you plan to purchase? And any of the thoughts that you have on these new products. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope this video was helpful to you and that you liked it. If you liked it and have a couple seconds, please give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.